Good afternoon and welcome to Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority here on 103.5 WNHH, anytime on video on the New Haven Independence YouTube page or as a podcast from Apple or Spotify. I'm Kevin Watsey, host of Liquid Lunch, and I'm the Director of Public Affairs at the Regional Water Authority, but more importantly, I'm a water nerd. And today's show, we are going to talk all about water. Our last few shows, we had some guests on where we talked about other topics, but today is all about the water company and specifically about the customer experience at the water company because it's about to change for the better. For the last 2 years, the RWA has been working on a project that we internally deem the RWA project. It's a multi-million-dollar project to replace the CIS system. What is a CIS system? Well, if you hang in there, we're going to tell you exactly what it is. And why should you care as a customer of the Water Authority? If you hang in there, we're going to tell you why you should care too. Here to tell us why we should care about all this is Trevor Hansen. He is the Enterprise Application Manager with the RWA, and we're also going to find out what exactly that means. He has been deeply involved in this RWA project and our transition into this new technological world for the past 2 years plus. So I asked Trevor to come here because in the next 4 to 6 weeks, our customers are going to see this change. And so I wanted Trevor to come talk about what this project is, why we're doing it, and what the customers will see, and what goes on behind the scenes when a company's trying to do a project like this. So, Trevor, welcome to the show. And as we do with every show, I'm going to ask you to tell me and the audience your story. How did you get to where you are right now?
First, I want to say thank you, Kevin, for inviting me here this afternoon. And a little bit about myself. I'm a native of Connecticut, grew up in Woodstock, graduated from Woodstock Academy, and really fell in love with technology. My dad was industrial technology and inspired me to get into computers, where I led me to Keene State College, where I got my bachelor's in computer science. And after 4 years, I started working at the Timken Company, dealing with networks and computer systems. And while I was there, I ended up working of integrating companies that Timken would buy. So again, combining systems and networks. And I went on to get my Master's of Science at Franklin Pierce University, where I then got the opportunity to get into SAP, which is what our current CIS is a part of. And sorry, first time on the radio. So SAP is what our current CIS is currently a part of. And then my wife all of a sudden said, hey, it's time to go back down to Connecticut to start a family. And I was given the opportunity to go to GKN Aerospace, where again I had the opportunity to implement SAP, what our current CIS is a part of. And after being there for 9.5 years, I got the opportunity to go to the Water Authority, where they said, hey, come and manage our SAP systems, and turn around and say, hey, we got something new and exciting coming. Would you like to be the technology lead for implementing the new customer information system at Regional Water Authority?
So the RWA said, hey, come manage our SAP system, and then as soon as you got there, they said, hey, we're getting rid of the SAP system.
yeah. That's exactly what happened. But when we saw the current technology that we had and the opportunity with this new platform, everybody got very excited to improve that customer experience.
And that is what we are here to talk about, right? Because this is a very exciting project, and from what I've learned over the past 2 years, it really is going to enhance our customers' experience in every aspect of dealing with the water company. So I thought I would conduct today's show as if I'm somebody who knows nothing about what you're doing, Trevor, and I'm going to ask a lot of very basic questions, the questions that I think a lot of customers are going to ask over the next few weeks and months as they become comfortable with this system. Is that cool?
That sounds great.
All right, so a few times I've said CIS, CIS, CIS. What is CIS?
CIS is Customer Information System, and what that means is it contains our customers' information from your name, where you live, your phone number, your email address, how much water you're consuming, the financials around how much that costs, the service charges, when your bill is due, when we conduct services, so it contains when your meter might need to be replaced or you're having a problem. It allows us to send somebody out to be able to get that service. It also is our self-service portal, so the ability for you to have easy ways of paying your water bill, or better yet, have an auto pay, so you don't even have to worry about when that water.
So that's like the online account. You can go log in, look at all your information on the website.
Yes, exactly. It's also the way that our internal customer service reps interact with you. So when you call up and get them on the phone, all of that technology is included into that customer information system, and so it really has to do with all that information that you as the customer provide us, so that way we can give you good water service.
And so right now we're using a platform called SAP to manage this system. So I guess in layman's terms, that would be like me choosing to use Microsoft Word for my word processing over like Google Docs.
That's right. Yep. And SAP isn't the only player that's out there. There's Microsoft Dynamics, there's Oracle, there's a lot of different companies in the marketplace that we could pick and choose from to have our customer information system on. And SAP is the one that we've been on for the last 15 years at Regional Water Authority, and before that we had a homegrown system that we built internally.
So begs the question, why now?
Why now? So SAP, the current version that we're on, hasn't been upgraded since we implemented it 15 years ago, and they've given us an end of life, which is a common
It hasn't
process.
been upgraded by SAP.
It hasn't been upgraded by SAP in 15 years, and now they have a new platform, and they said, hey, you have to get to this new platform by 2027, and we said, well, this is an opportunity to not just look at that as a possible upgrade, but what other technologies have happened over the last 15 years. And with that deadline in mind, with, again, security and all those advances, we brought 11 different vendors in to go through the RFP process, and ultimately burned it down to 4 and chose this new platform that sits on Microsoft Dynamics 365 called UMax.
Yeah, it's funny. When you said 2027, for some reason my brain automatically thought, oh, that's 10 years.
Yeah.
But it's only 2.
That's right. Yeah, right. It's right around the corner.
What does that say about me? I don't know. But yeah, I was like, wow, 10 years. No, it's really only 2 years. So basically SAP said you need to do something because this will not be available in a couple of years. And rather than the RWA, I guess, taking the easy road and just saying, okay, we'll upgrade to the new SAP product, we decided to kind of go shopping and see what was out there, to see if there was another product that could better meet our customer needs, and that's where we landed on this Microsoft Dynamic based project.
Yep, that's right. So we looked at SAP and what we had, and the base solution of SAP doesn't do everything that we needed it to do. So over the last 15 years, we've been developing and making it easier for ourselves to use. In the last 3 years, we put in a new customer portal for everybody to be able to see their bills. You're able to see your consumption. We built that out. We've implemented AMI that connected to SAP. And so we had this list of things that we knew we needed to have in the new system. And by just doing the upgrade onto SAP, we would have had to figure out how all of those developments would work into that new platform, and that would have been the responsibility of RWA. And what we found within this vendor, that this software platform called UMax by this company called Itinerus, they had developed all of that technology themselves, so they own that, versus RWA owning that technology that sits on top of SAP that we own ourselves. So that's one reason why we, again, we were looking out in the marketplace, because we were like, well, we're one water company. Other utilities must have these needs, and there must be companies that have done that technological development for us, versus us needing to do it ourselves.
Yeah, it's interesting. As some of our listeners may recall, I've worked at a few other water companies, and I was at one water company in New Jersey where they undertook what they called business transformation. It really was similar to what we're doing here, except they spent $350 million to go over to SAP, and that was back in 2010, 2011. But anyway, that was just a weird aside. Let me ask you, so I've been here at the RWA 2 years, a little over 2 years, and on my second day with the company, I went to the launch of the RWA project. It launched on my second day, and so some people who are listening may have heard me say this project's been going on over 2 years now. Why does a project like this take, I don't want to say so long, but why does it take multiple years?
That's a great question, Kevin. So one thing that we do have to remember is it's been 15 years of development. So when we first went on to SAP for us to do that project, it took about a year and a half. And after that, we turned around and said, okay, there's reports that we need developed. Like we needed to add the customer portal. We needed to put AMI. We implemented a field service module on top of it all. So we didn't start with all of those great technologies when we implemented SAP. And with this project, we are needing to put those same technologies back in place. So what we've developed over the last 15 years, we're trying to now do that in 2 years amount of time. So this isn't just a CIS or customer information system. There's 11 different applications that are being deployed in order to help support the business and our customers alike. And I like to break it down into apples and oranges, right? The apple in this story is SAP and everything that we've developed, and UMAX is the orange, and we have to turn that apple into an orange. In order to do that, we first have to understand all the different things that make up that apple. Well, the customer needs the bill, and we need to read water, and all those things that make what it is. Then we have to look at that orange and say, okay, what are the similarities between the two of them that in order to make that change? Then we have to develop a way to be able to actually make that transition from an apple into an orange. And then lastly, we have to perform it. And that's where we really are within the project during the deployment phase of the project is we're trying to turn this red shiny apple into this delicious orange on the other side, where it still has all the same functionality, helps our customers, and also takes advantage of some of the new and exciting things that we might find on the other side that we didn't have beforehand.
I imagine there's maybe not a million, but I'll say like a million little things you need to look at, right? So, as I've been a part of this, it's stuff like customer account numbers, right? Can we keep the old account numbers? Will they migrate over to the new system, or are we going to have to give every customer a new account number? Or even how does the new system accept customer names? Is it first name, last name, first name, comma, first name, things like that, right? So it's you kind of have to look at, does it have the zip +4 or just the zip? All these little things that folks may not think you have to look at. This team has to look at every single one of those, because if you try and transfer first name, last name over to a system that accepts last name, comma, first name, you're in for a world of hurt. Am I right about that?
You're absolutely right. And right, that customer account is a good one. That was one of the first decisions that we made, was to keep that customer account be the same things to reduce confusion as we did this transformation. But a field as simple as PO box in SAP is combined PO and box, whereas in the new system, you actually just put the number, and there's already a field called PO box. So even though it sounds like the same thing, it's apples and oranges again, where it's two things that mean the same thing, but they're not. And there was over 3,000 different business processes looked at and analyzed to understand how we would make that transformation. first name, even something as simple as first name and last name, there could be characters that might not be accepted in the new system versus the old system. Just those are the differences. They were programmed by different individuals, and each has a different lens on how these things should work within the business environment. So a lot of time and analysis was spent. The analysis phase took almost 6 months alone, where we just dissected all of those little things and then put them back together.
Right.
Yes.
And so folks that are listening to this during the first week of March, which is when we're recording and playing it, there's a very specific reason that we're doing this show now, and that's because the new system goes live when?
New system goes live on April 2nd. That's not a fool's joke in there. Yeah. We are going to be starting that transition Friday, March 21st.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that, because one thing I've as the head of communications, myself and my team have been very involved with this, communicating to our customers about this change. But your team has really been preparing, I'd say, for the last few months in what we're calling the cutover, right? So that's the period where we're going from the old to the new. Can you talk a little bit about the cutover and what's involved with that, the preparation, and what your teams are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very close to home right now because we just did a practice of that cutover. There's so many different moving parts that are involved in this. One thing is making sure our vendors understand when we're going to stop accepting payments. Understanding when we need temporarily stopping payments, accepting payments from our customers. We need to make sure we finish out all of our business processes to freeze our old legacy SAP, so that way it needs to be static, and no new data should come into it while we extract that information out of SAP. We then have to transform it. Again, we're dealing with apples and oranges, and we need to turn it into that orange. So we transform the data so then it can be loaded into SAP in all the correct fields. We don't want dates or balances or any payments that recently came in or bills to, we don't want it. We are taking absolute care to make sure that our customers' information is correct in the new system. And that process of freezing and transforming and load that we just went through takes 5 or 6 days to do all of that work. And then when we are done with that, we still have work to do with information that we couldn't transform and load into the new system. Like if you opened up a service order to turn on your seasonal water service, we couldn't do that yet in the old system. We need to migrate that service order, and there was no migration path. So now we've got to manually generate a couple hundred service orders. We've got to set up anybody that had a lien on their account. So there's a lot of data that then needs to manually be moved in. And then we've got to smoke test everything, right? We're not just going to say, hey, everybody, come on into this new world, and we're not 100% sure that it works. So we've got tests that we then have to perform internally ourselves. We're going to send some of our employees who are people in our territory out to our new payment centers and have them test those to make sure that they're up and going. We're going to have them sign up for our customer self-service portal, make sure all of that's working. Their wallet information can be entered. So all of these steps are being coordinated by myself, also the cutover lead, to take place in the right order. So that way, when we get to April 2nd, we turn it on and say, hey, everybody, go and check out this new technology that we've done to give you a better experience.
Yeah, as a kind of aside, how many folks internally have been working on this for the last 2 years?
Internally, there are about 80 people.
About 80 people on the team. Yes.
On the team through one way or another, not full time. The full time team is roughly 20 to 25 people. So we've had, but that's the thing. There's so much diverse knowledge at the RWA. We've really tried to make sure we capture all those different business processes and have had to bring in to get that look and feel. And
I point that out because I want our customers, our listeners, to know that this is it's been 2 years because that's how long it takes to do something of this magnitude. But this is a a serious priority focus at the RWA right now, to the fact that we do have 80 people on and off this project as needed to work on it, to make sure that everything goes right, to make sure that when the new system does launch on day one, you as the customer will call us up, and we'll be able to look up your account, answer your questions, and do everything that you could do with us, a month earlier, right? So when does the cutover begin?
Cutover begins on March 21st, Friday, March 21st.
And if you're out there listening to the show, you can go on our website. We do have these dates out there. So we talked about some of the things customers will not be able to do during the cutover. One of the things I want to bring up quickly is specifically to customers who access their account through our online portal. They won't be able to access their account through the online portal during the cutover, correct?
That's correct. When our SAP system is shut down and frozen, it actually needs that system to understand who you are. So when that is frozen and down, that's going to stop the access to that customer portal and not be able to access it anymore.
So it's about 10 days, and if you are one of those customers, you will be informed. We have your email address. Otherwise, how else would you get online access? You will be getting emails and other communications to let you know about this freeze. Also, customers who have it set up to pay their bill automatically, auto pay. If you are scheduled to auto pay during that 10-day period, it's not going to go through, correct?
And actually, that starts on March 19th.
March 19th.
If you have an auto payment that is scheduled to be paid after 11:55 p.m. on March 19th, it will not happen, and that auto pay will need to be set up in the new customer portal.
Right. So, and if you're one of those customers, again, we have your email. You will be getting an email from us letting you know about this. The last thing we want is for folks to inadvertently be late on their payment because we're going through this. We're going to take every step necessary so that everybody's aware and that there is no harm and no foul on that side. Thing you just brought up, which I want to emphasize also, if you're an auto pay customer coming out of the cutover on April 2nd, you will need to go in and pretty much set up a new online account with us, correct?
That's correct. Your account information is not being brought over. Today, you can set up whatever username you would like. In the new future, it's going to be your email address that you use every day. So for that reason, it needing that email address, we could not port over those credentials. So it's going to have you also put in a new password. So we can't bring over that password as well in setting up this whole sign up of a new account.
And you'll also need a distinct code, right? That's going to be communicated to each customer, that when they go to set up this new account, it will also ask for this code. It's going to be on the April bill, I believe, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So when signing up, after putting in your email, it's going to send you a verification code. That is to verify that we have the correct email address when you sign up. There's an additional account that you're mentioning, Kevin, that's called the activation token or activation code. It's a 4-digit code that will be included on your bill, paired with your account ID or account number. Those two will be the final step in the process to make sure that we know who we have, because we don't want to accidentally give one of our customers the wrong access to the wrong information in the system, which is the reason for all of that verification.
Yeah, and going back to the auto pay customers, during that 10, 12 days where the auto pay is not going to be working, if you're one of those folks and you want to pay your bill, you can come on down to Sargent Drive, 90 Sargent Drive, and pay your bill there. You can also go to one of our external places that list is on the website that take our payment. You can also call us. So there are ways to pay your bill. Again, that will all be communicated to those folks that are a part of the auto pay. So what else should customers know about this very critical cutover period that they may not be able, what should they know that they may not be able to do during that time, or how it may impact them?
So we've mentioned the customer portal, and I think that that's the way that people are most interact with the RWA in this state. But we're really going to be only open for emergency services. What you got to remember, you can still call in, you can still talk to a customer service representative. They are going to help you out to the best of their ability based upon whatever your needs are. But we are not going to be able to do things like the payments that we've talked about. From a service order standpoint, if you need to call and schedule service, if it's an emergency, absolutely, you're going to be able to get support. But if it's something that can wait until after April 2nd, that's when we'll be creating those service orders. We will be taking those emergency calls. You're not going to be able to use our IVR, which is the integrated voice recognition system. That's where you can call, check your balance, and then be able to make the payment over IVR. So all of those electronic payment capabilities are down at that time, but you're always going to be able to reach us during this cutover.
And I think before we move on, you said it, but I want to emphasize it because A, I think it's kind of cool, and B, I think it's good for our customers to know. Right now, we're in the middle of kind of a pretend cutover, right? And this is the second one that the RWA has actually done.
That's correct.
And the reason we're doing that is because
we want to practice like we play. Right? It's game time when we do the cutover, and we want to win the game, which is doing right by our customers. And every time that we do one of these cutovers, we add a little bit more to our steps. Yeah, in these practice steps. And that's the reason why we do it. We step away. We have a lessons learned where we review what went very well, and we keep doing those things the next time we practice. And what didn't go well, and we make refinements and changes so that way we can do it better the next time and ensure that we have a successful cutover to these new systems.
Great. All right. So we've talked about the old system. We've talked about the 2 years leading up to getting the new system. We've even talked about that cutover to the new system. Let's talk about the new system now. Because the world changes on April 2nd, right? When we go live with this new system, as we already said, your account number is not changing, correct?
That's correct.
We said auto pay will need to be reset up under a new account. You'll have to go on our website and sign up for a new online account. You're still going to have your, let me be clear, when I say new account, I mean a new online account. You will still have the same water account. You don't have to sign up for a new water service. You just have to go sign up for a new online account to access your water account. I realized I was being a little sloppy with my language there. So now it's April 2nd. We have the new system in place. As a customer, what can I expect?
So a couple things, especially on the portal side. I want to encourage everybody how important it is to get in and sign up for the portal. Right, not just from an auto pay standpoint and having all the different digital payment options, right? It's no longer just check and savings account and credit cards. We're also opening up new payment opportunities through Venmo and Apple Pay, and there's going to even be an option for cash, and I'll talk about that one in just a second. We're going to have the ability right there on the portal to be able to set up a payment plan. Right, so if your water bill happens to be a little bit higher and you want to be able to budget the payments back to us, you can set up a 6-month payment plan right there on the portal. Our water
right now, you have to call us to set up.
That's right.
In the new world, you can do it right in your customer portal.
You can do it right there on your customer portal for 6 months. If you need additional time, you can call us, and we have the ability to actually give you an extended payment plan out there. We have a product today called Water Watch, where you can go in and look at the consumption information on a hourly or daily or weekly basis. That takes you to an external portal outside of our self-service portal. It's going to be in the actual portal, so you're going to be able to go and view those graphs, and you'll be able to see, why your water bill goes up and down, because you'll be able to judge and see, I ran, 5 loads of dishes that day or something along those lines, and why your water bill's high. Stepping back on the cash option, you might be wondering, how can I pay cash electronically when
I was wondering that
when I've got cash in my hand. So the cash option, it basically it's a trust to pay. So you're saying, I'm going to pay you, let's say your bill's $100, and I'm going to pay you $100 cash. You can go and say, here's my $100, and it's going to give you back a barcode. You can take that barcode and you can go down to any one of our payment locations, and they will scan that barcode and give the $100 cash right then and there. The benefit of it is, as soon as you say cash $100, it is going to take that off of your balance that you owe to the RWA right then and there, without even getting down to the store to pay it. Now, again, it's trust. So we're trusting that you're going to do that. If that doesn't happen in 28 days, so 4 weeks of time, it will say, okay, I did not receive that cash, therefore I'm going to put the $100 back onto your account with any interest that might have been incurred during that time.
And so one thing too, so right now, we'll talk old world, new world. Old world, there's about 20 or so payment locations that you can go to. New world?
New world, any CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. I mean, if it's so if you're and it just doesn't have to be in the greater New Haven area. If you're one of a customer that owns property and you're in Florida or somewhere living somewhere else, those big name stores, they're supported by us now.
And you could even, I heard, set up your Alexa, right? Alexa, pay my water bill, and it'll pay your water bill.
Yeah. You can. I have not played with that, but that is something that we are playing with in the future to help, again, for ease of customer use and have a great customer experience.
How about the bill? Will the actual look of the bill change, or is it going to look like the same bill I got back in February?
That's a great question. So bills can be confusing, no matter who you get them, and we did our best to not change the bill format too drastically. We wanted to have it really look similar to what you have today. But with the new system, there's more information that we could actually put onto the bill. So we're going to have dates as to what your service period was, or if you're a Pipe Safe customer of ours, you'll have your Pipe Safe service period, so you know what the time frame is that you're being charged for and why you're being charged for that amount. So we figured more information and more transparency was better than, well, you're just getting this charge and not necessarily knowing what it is for.
That's great. So let's talk a little bit about some of what I call it's a CIS project, the cool, innovative stuff, the CIS of this project. Can you kind of hit a couple of highlights of some of the cool technology that's built into this new system that we didn't have with SAP?
No. So first I got to ask you a question, Kev. Do you know what ChatGPT is?
I love ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, and yes. For those that are listening, if you don't know, ChatGPT is artificial intelligence, and basically it's taking over the world, where you're able to type in a question and it has access to almost everything that humans do, and it gives you the best of its information. Well, this technology is built with Microsoft Copilot, and Copilot is basically ChatGPT, and so we are able to take advantage of artificial intelligence to help provide a better customer experience when dealing with the RWA. And so, for example, if we're going through a conversation with one of our CSRs, it's listening and understanding what's going on, and it's making suggestions to our CSRs on how they could respond to the question that's happening, right? Because there's a lot to know about a customer and about the system, and it can be tough to think on the spot. Well, it's built in and integrated in order to be able to provide help to our CSRs. It also it has the ability to track sentiment, so it understands tone and different verbal cues, so you can see if somebody's calls in and they're frustrated, or if they're kind of neutral, or if they're happy. So you can actually see that change through the conversation. And it's not necessarily that we're interested in what's going on in the conversation. We're using these as teaching tools on how we can train our CSRs to better adapt to the needs of our customer. There's analytics that are also provided in there. I was looking at one yesterday on monologuing. How much time do we actually allow our customers to talk versus our CSRs to talk? Statistics on were we able to do first-time resolution versus you needing to call back in. So AI is really one of the largest pieces that I think everybody's excited about as it comes in, and that's all around voice. If you send us an email to our Ask Billing, that also is going to have AI built into it. So we, as our CSRs, get those emails. It's not going to just automatically respond with whatever the AI is saying. We're going to be able to read the suggested responses, tweak it, and then send back, the necessary communication to you to help answer your questions. And that's really around a lot of the technology with our CSRs. With our field service reps, their whole new platform, they've now got digital communications that are going to be able to be sent out. So if you know that you have a service order planned for that day, and you'd like to know, it's between 9 a.m. and noon. As soon as the field service rep says start, it's going to text you if we have your cell phone. Hey, the service rep is on its way. When they say I'm here, it's going to let you know that the field service rep is here. So I like to think that that's really great for security, from the standpoint that that it's a regional water authority employee that's there to help you, because I've seen those communications around, like, hey, we've got our badges, we've got our jerseys on. So you can know just by those communications that are coming, that it is truly us. And then when we end it, same thing. It will text you that a confirmation that we've completed the service order with what we found. And so that's going to help communications between field services and our customer service department. Additionally, on there, you're going to be able to schedule your own service order through the customer self-service portal. So you don't like getting on the phone, you don't want to talk to somebody, but you need help. That customer self-service portal has the ability to look at the slots that are available, and you can go out and schedule a time based upon what is at your property. Some jobs take more than one person, so those will all be set up for you to be able to do. So there's so much more than what I've already told you about today, but these are just some of the exciting technologies that are coming with this implementation.
That's great. So we're really empowering the customer in a way. And I want to take a step back to the co-pilot thing. And I want to be clear. All right, you're still, when you call the RWA, you're going to be talking to humans. This is not us replacing our human call center reps with robots. It really, I think, Trevor, you hit the perfect word. It's a tool. It's a tool that our call reps will now have to make your experience when you do call us quicker, more efficient, and just overall better. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is absolutely accurate. We will still have the same amount of reps there to support you, and it's all about getting you the service, the right service, quicker, and using those tools so that way you can feel like we're supporting you.
Right. Like one of the examples I heard, and you can tell me if this is wrong or not, but if a customer calls and the rep picks up the phone, the co-pilot will very quickly review that customer's account and give a summary on the screen to the call handler so that they don't have to read through what could be years of history on this account. Is that true?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So those are called indicators, and we've got a number of them programmed in the system, and so they'll pop in those indicators and make guesses already as to what the person might be calling about, whether it's a high water bill. There's also a timeline that's built into the customer's the information. So anything that's recently happened, if a service order's just been closed, we'll be able to see that real time because the systems integrate and talk back to each other. Additionally, and I don't know if this is an enhancement or not because I think it's an expectation of today. When you make a payment, we are going to see that in real time. So if you know you got behind and you just forgot to pay and didn't pay attention to notifications, and we're saying, hey, pay X by this day, or we've got to shut you, unfortunately, and you make that payment on that last day, we're going to see that, and we're going to be able to cancel that service, and it hits it immediately and cancels the service order and takes you out of that rotation. So hopefully, from that standpoint, it will be less frustration when dealing with us as a water company.
And one of the things you and I talked about on the ride over here, which I thought was pretty cool, and we'll kind of end this portion with this, is you talked about the we call it the IVR, but it's the system that kind of directs calls when you call the call center and helps customers kind of land where they need to land. That's even going to be smarter, right? It's going to be able to direct your call to the call rep who may have more experience dealing with the same type of issue you're calling about. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. So we made a decision after the analysis phase of the project that we were going to implement omnichannel, which is built right into the customer service application. And it has the ability to watch the journey the customer takes through and what options they choose in order to be able to get to their end journey, and we can see the transfers. So we'll be able to even optimize that experience. If we see one of those options isn't getting used, we can go back and say, all right, let's get rid of that one. What is it that customers really want? And be able to modify that menu for a better customer experience when calling in.
All right, so we have spent a lot of time here talking about this new system, which I know at the water company we're super excited about, and for someone like me who's been involved but not nearly as deeply involved as you've been, it is a really exciting thing. And some of the things that we're doing really catapult us into the 21st century. Other things are just bringing us where we should have been for the last 20 years, to be honest with you. Before we move on to my 5 unrelated questions, is there anything that I haven't asked you or anything we haven't talked about that you would like to get out there?
I think it's just important for people to understand how much work and effort the team has put into this project, and we're all really excited about the technology that we're bringing. We really are working hard at a better customer experience. We are in the people business, and we thank you guys for that business. And lastly, I know we've talked about the payments, but I just think it's just important to remind everybody that, hey, just because you can't pay automatically after the 19th, you come by, see us, drop off your bill at 90 Sargent, or mail it in. Those options will always be available to you until we go live on the new system. And just thank you for your business.
And there you have it. So let's start our 5 unrelated questions. These are questions that have absolutely nothing to do with what we just talked about for the last 45 minutes, but will help us get to know Trevor a little bit more. So, number 1, do you have any pets?
We do. We just got a black lab Husky Timber, and he is an absolute great dog. My kids love him a little too much sometimes. And if I could just get him to stop whining at 5 o'clock in the morning and needing to go out for a walk, he would be the perfect dog.
That was going to be my question, right? Because Huskies have a reputation for never shutting up.
He's
whining and howling and talking.
He talks a lot.
Yeah,
yes.
my daughter and I will go down YouTube rabbit holes of Huskies just talking, making the noises like they're talking. So. He's young. He's only 6 months, 7 months old.
He's now a year. We got him at 6 months old, which was great because he was house trained, right? And we didn't have to go through a lot of the puppy stages. He was well and good broken in.
Who is your favorite musician or band?
So I really like all genres of music. 90s is definitely the best decade of music in there. You know, I grew up listening to doo-wop and oldies in the car, but as soon as 90s came on, I was like, this is it for me. And I've listened, you know, Green Day to Nirvana to Snoop Dogg. But as far as music experiences and concerts, I got the chance to go to Andrea Bocelli when he came to the Hartford Civic Center last March, and if anybody listening gets the chance, it is so moving and so motivational. I cried. It just topped anything that I have ever been to.
So we've been doing this question now for probably 9 or 10 months. First time we've got an opera.
Yeah, there you go, opera.
You know, so far Duran Duran is winning. I've had 4 different people tell me Duran Duran.
Okay.
But yeah, 90s. I mean, we're both children of the 90s, so of course we're gonna say the 90s is the best music. But Bocelli, I'm more of a Pavarotti guy.
Okay.
I loved Pavarotti.
Yep.
My best friend's aunt was Pavarotti's personal assistant. I never saw him or anything, but I did love the 3 tenors and Pavarotti. So, like you, I can literally listen to Metallica and then flip right over to Pavarotti.
Yep.
And then listen to Neil Sedaka. I mean, that's just, maybe it's our generation. What is your favorite hobby? What do you like to do when you're not implementing new CIS systems?
Yeah, so definitely busy outside the office. My dad and I, we own a Christmas tree farm in Woodstock, Connecticut. During 2020, started a vineyard, which is still a work in progress. Wow. We've got about 1,100 vines right now that care and feed for. And then my kids keep me very, very busy. My daughter and son are into basketball. I'm coaching my daughter's basketball team, and then I'm also a den leader for the scout pack that we have in town. So yeah, between scouts and basketball and farming, and then this, got lots to do.
I should add a 6th question, a 5 unrelated questions. When do you sleep?
Yeah, not often.
So, Christmas tree question: how long does it take to get? How many years from like a sapling to my living room?
Yep, so 7 to 10 years. It's
7 to 10. Wow.
7 to 10. So it's a very invested business. And our Christmas tree farm has been around now since 1982. So 43 years. And yeah, going strong.
So really, a person who starts a Christmas tree farm today will see 0 revenue for 7 to 10 years.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yep.
That never thought about that, but that's very interesting. What kind of wine?
So it's because it's Connecticut. White is pretty much all that we can grow in our farm 6B area. So I've invested in white Cayuga grapes, and they seem to be doing pretty well. This is our first. Well, last year was supposed to be the first year of harvest, I should say, and we got a disease in them, unfortunately. Ooh. So hoping this year finally turns the corner with the white Cayuga. Wow.
Good luck with that. That's so interesting.
Thank you.
Cookies, brownies, or ice cream?
Oh, definitely a cookie guy.
What kind?
Honestly, the dough.
Just the dough.
Yeah, just give me the dough.
Just like a chocolate chip cookie dough?
Yeah, I blame Sesame Street and the Cookie Monster, honestly, around that. But also, my mom and I, we that's something, a childhood memory, you know, in the kitchen baking, and I think we all had the electric beater, and we took the beaters off and licked them. So I think that just kind of hooked me.
So I got to say, first to say opera, and I'm pretty sure you're the first to say cookie.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very interesting. See, you're breaking a lot of records today. Last question: who is your favorite teacher and why?
My favorite teacher is, you know, I'm still learning every day. Honestly, whoever teaches me something new I have something to learn, and it's tough to look back and be like, oh, this one person, because I've had so many different great teachers and life lessons along the way. To pick out one coach, pick out one mentor at work or a specific grade or subject, they've all had an influence on who I am today and how I've gotten to where I am in my career. So thank you to all of them. That's inspired me. Yeah,
that's fair. I'll take that. That's the first time anybody's ever given that answer too. Jeez, you are one of a kind, Trevor. Well, listen, that's going to wrap it up for today's Liquid Lunch. And as I do every show, I want to leave you with the one thing you should be thinking about after this show, which is there are literally dozens of people over at 90 Sergeant Drive who have been working for the past 2 years to improve our customers' experience through this new program that we're implementing, this new technology. It hasn't always been easy for them. But it's something that's really going to pay off in April when it goes live. If you're a customer, that 10 to 12 day freeze we've been talking about may not be easy, especially if you need to get specific account information. But we ask your indulgence. We ask you to bear with us, and just know on the other side of it, you are going to have a customer experience like you've never had with the water company. If you have any questions going into it, you can feel free to call our call center. You can visit our website. You can check your emails. You can check. We're going to be running television commercials about this, so we want to make sure that every customer is educated about what we're trying to do. And then on April 2nd, we encourage you to stop by the website, see our new customer portal, sign up for the new customer portal, and we hope that our customers enjoy this as much as we think they will. So with that, I want to thank everybody for listening. This has been Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority, and today we've been talking with Trevor Hansen about the RWA's new customer information system, which will be debuting in early April 2nd. So let's close the show by raising a glass of drinking water and having a toast to staying hydrated and engaged. Until our next show, I'm Kevin Watsey.